we'll jump into this one, and then I think I'm going to have to pull it tonight. I'm just going to finish this part of this. We'll see if there's anything to this. This is in line with what we just saw. You're watching Hal Sparks Make It Worldwide. Thanks. Sorry I was off yesterday. Like I said, my neck's killing me. I should be better soon, but I missed you guys, so here I am. Pardon me for being fidgety, like a kid in class who's got to piss. But this is I have said there's no evidence, so I feel personally attacked by this. But we'll see what
Speaker Kevin McCarthy opened up an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, working to appease far-right lawmakers who have threatened to oust him if he fails to.
And he's reading an article from somebody that he thinks doesn't go against, that isn't supportive of this, I suppose.
To accede to their demands for deep spending cuts that would force a government shutdown at the end of the month.
Yeah, Comer's not even on board with that. They don't have the votes.
So the New York Times is saying McCarthy is only doing the inquiry because
because they don't have any evidence, and unless they keep looking, they're never going to find any, even never mind the fact that it's not there. Benghazi, anyone?
The spending bill. Now, that is a possibility. I want you to know. Because McCarthy has said on Fox about a month ago that if we don't get a bill, we don't get a spending bill. I mean, we're gonna have to cut and shut down everything, including any kind of inquiry or impeachment hearing. Oh, I get it.
That's just true, fucko. If you shut down the government, that's all of the government. There's some crucial things that continue no matter what, like the military. But yeah, all the rando like fucking snipe hunts in the Congress certainly get shut down. Yeah,
I'm not playing that game.
It's not a game, dum-dum. It's just materially true.
You want to shut down the impeachment inquiry because you have to shut down the government?
The impeachment inquiry is coming from the government. You do realize the House caucus, the Freedom Caucasians are the government, right? It's a government action.
You don't have to do that, but...
Yes, you do.
They don't scare me. I don't care.
Who gives a fuck what you think?
I don't care. I don't expect you actually to do anything anyway.
Right. This fucking impeachment inquiry is going to be bullshit anyways. They're not looking into stuff. I mean, you think Comer's actually looking for anything? Are you fucking out of your mind? This is crazy.
So, what
Jesus.
do I have to lose?
This asshole needs to try harder.
These are empty threats from empty suits.
Is that the mission statement of the Glenn Beck Show?
For those of us who aren't playing a game.
You mean the people who, anybody who isn't involved in the impeachment inquiry, which is just a game?
Who actually believe that,
flat?
I don't care who it is. I don't care if it was Donald Trump or if it was Joe Biden. I don't care if it was Ronald Reagan. If they break the law.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and go, I kind of think you do.
They should be impeached or imprisoned.
Okay, so you're good with the whole, like, classified documents thing and fucking with the election. And, I mean, so you do take seriously that the court, the judge, particularly in the E. Jean Carroll, said that according to the general understanding of the word rapist, Donald Trump is one. You're down with that. Okay, cool. How about Jared and his $3 billion?
If they break the law, not
right. That would be that's where you run aground with this whole impeachment inquiry thing. If they break the law part.
Witch hunts. Not witch hunts. And not small little laws that are, like
the Espionage Act.
Honestly, Bill Clinton, he should have paid some price for perjury. Now, at the time, I thought he should be impeached because he lied.
You're an asshole.
Lied to the American people. How much money did we spend? How much time did we waste?
Right. Turning the Whitewater case into a blowjob investigation.
On that.
Right. Yeah. We know Republicans are terrible shepherds of government money, of taxpayer money. They're idiot. Like, they're the last people you want to put in charge. They will waste it on snipe hunts. We know this.
But I think Hillary missed the biggest chance in the world. You know, she should have just thrown his suitcases out on the lawn of that would probably be, and he's president, so she couldn't. She should have just packed up a suitcase, left the White House, and say, I fully support him as president of the United States, but we have our issues with our marriage. And
or they worked their way through it like adults, and they stayed married. I mean, obviously, your standard for what a true relationship is Donald Three Wives Trump.
He lied to me. She would have been the most popular person in the world.
Also, for the record, who says? He might have been fighting people knowing about shit, in the public, and he might have been embarrassed by the knowledge of what was going on. But I got to tell you, they were a couple from the 70s. The boomers from a particular era had a lot more open and understanding relationships than maybe now or previous.
World. But
and I don't care.
She didn't. This isn't that. What this impeachment is
just a hunt. It's like Whitewater Squared.
All about. And this is not an impeachment proceeding. This is an impeachment investigation.
No, it's an inquiry. They're not investigating the impeachment, and they're certainly not investigating actual shit. They are inquiring about certain things. They need evidence. They need information they can turn into evidence. That's what they think.
So now federal investigators can, Congress has the ability for warrants to look into all of it, where they were boxed in. Now they have full authority to look into anything they want to look into.
Yawn. And first of all, no, they don't. I got news for you. All of this is only going to be shit, and this is going to drive them crazy, that may have happened while Biden was vice president. I got news for you. Nothing about any of his meetings or his dinners or anywhere he fucking went in 2017 is the fucking business of the government any more than it is anybody else's. He wasn't running a fucking shadow government while he was doing it. It's nobody's fucking business. And by the way, I would love to see Republicans make the case that they believe that people out of office should be held to an oath standard. Knock yourself out. Work that out. Yeah. Go after, like Jim Jordan.
That's important. Because we're not just going on some hunt at the beach with a metal detector. We know specifically what we're looking for.
Okay, and you haven't found it yet. You're aware of that. So you know what you're looking for, but you haven't found it. So this is about keeping looking.
When you're going in and taking Donald Trump, what they did was they found the guy, and then they said, let's find a crime.
No. The documents case, they didn't make him call Raffensperger and fucking Kemp. They didn't make him lie about giving money to charity. They didn't make him lie about lying to banks and the IRS in two different directions. They didn't look, and people knew about that shit for years.
There is a crime going on here. Now, is the president directly involved? Well, I don't know how you say he's not.
Like this, he's not.
How do you possibly say that?
It's like this. You go, he's not.
We've looked into the business ventures. Now, I don't say us. I mean, the Congress has looked into it. We've had several whistleblowers. Investigations have shown that Joe Biden lied. This is the first one.
No.
Well, he doesn't know. He lied over and over again when he said, I have no knowledge of my son's business deals. More specifically, I've never discussed it with my son ever.
Yeah, again, even the shit you're talking about as evidence that you've shown does not prove that or show that at all. Him calling his son every fucking day for a decade, and Devin Archer going, in 10 years, 20 of those days were when he was at meetings, and he asked people how the weather was and how fishing was and hung up.
Okay, we know that's a lie. Because
No, it isn't.
Now we have eyewitnesses.
Eyewitnesses, ear witnesses.
Even the head of Burisma Holdings, the Ukrainian
Where's he?
energy company.
The corrupt guy that you said was corrupt and very corrupt.
According to the intelligence, according to eyewitnesses, he was involved in, what was it, under 100 meetings. I think they were saying.
Well, way under, like 0. Also, I don't know where this stat's coming from. I've looked into a bunch of this shit. How do you say Biden only worth $10 million in 2 properties? Yes, he's worth 8.
Under 100 meetings. He would just pop in with business associates in the middle of a business deal.
No, he didn't.
Just be safe. Under 1 million meetings.
Right.
We can be safe in that one, I think.
Okay. Apparently.
Also, the meetings they're referencing, as far as the one dinner, was for the World Food Program that Biden showed up to. It was for the World Food Program, which Hunter Biden was the head of for a while, for 2 years, I think. And it was after Biden had left office. There were lots of people at that dinner. Fuck off.
Jolkevsky, he's the guy who is with Burisma. He has 17 audio recordings of
no, he does not.
Conversations with the Bidens, 2 of which purportedly involve
Purportedly is a good word.
President Joe Biden.
I'd love to hear him. Fire him up.
So that would be a problem. The WhatsApp message.
You mean the one that looks like an iMessage and has a picture attached to it that from Hunter Biden that was from an event that was after these messages were sent?
Included in the testimony by the IRS whistleblower further indicate Joe's involvement in Hunter's business affairs. One message sent to Chinese businessman Henry Zhao, Hunter threatened to use his father's political power to extort unfulfilled promises and assurance
in 2017
from Zhao. I'm
in 2017
sitting here with my father
in 2017,
and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Hunter also
right again. I thought the Chinese had the Bidens on a short leash. It sounds like Hunter is slapping the Chinese around in this argument. Get me my bribe money or else. It's super weird.
So said he had an ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret. The man sitting next to me and every person he knows will make your life a living hell if you don't meet our demands. Now,
what were those demands? Now, was he telling the truth? Now, was that after Biden had left office?
Maybe that was Hunter, in a drug rage and he wasn't sitting next to his dad. That is a possibility.
And they're denying it's even real. So, this is a perfect thing to investigate.
Yes.
Right? We need to find the answer. Obviously, if that is real.
Well, you don't have to investigate it. You have the messages. You allegedly have the messages. Check the data. Check the metadata. His attorneys say it's not real.
And he was in the room. That's a massive problem.
Wouldn't you want that? Because this is easy. All you have to do is just geotrack the message.
Yeah, that's easy to do. You can definitely geotrack someone who, WhatsApp messages that are in the president's house. And I'm sure he's not using a VPN or any of that stuff. Again, knock yourself the fuck out.
And I believe we know it was in the house. It came from the house, but they won't tell us if Joe Biden was there. That's, again, easy. Why wouldn't, if you were innocent and you weren't there, why wouldn't you say, yeah, I was, over here. I was at the other house. I was on the beach. I was at the White House. Why wouldn't you say that?
Easily provable.
Because you're a private citizen.
Provable.
Easily provable. But still, even if he was in the same house, doesn't mean he was sitting next to each other. But It is smoke. Then you have Devin.
It's actually steam, but sure. Just saying.
Archer, who testified to at least 24 times that Joe spoke with his son's business associates.
Oh, no. That's not what he said. I read the testimony. What did he say? He said 20 times that he remembers. And by the way, that's not an exact number. That's the high number that he says. Hunter put him on speakerphone when there were other people around, and he said, "Hi, guys, how's the weather?" He never discussed business. Not ever. In any of those calls, according to Devin Archer, under oath.
And this has credibility because the White House changed the narrative after that testimony. I never discussed any business dealings. Now, I've never been in business with my son.
No, they also said it the other way. They've said it each. They've answered the question since then and said never discuss business dealings. All of it. They were specifically tailoring that answer to the specific question that was asked.
That's a huge difference.
No, it isn't.
Also, the vice president used his office to coordinate with Hunter Biden's business partners about Hunter's role in Burisma. There is an FD 1023, that's for confidential sources.
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani. That's why nobody wants to say who it is.
Containing intel from a, quote, highly credible confidential human source.
Where none of the stuff this person has said has materially shown up to be true.
That is offering further evidence that the then vice president was instrumental in the firing of Ukrainian prosecutor investigating Burisma and
wait, say what?
Instrumental in that is offering further evidence that the then vice president was instrumental in the firing of Ukrainian prosecutor investigating Burisma, and he was paid $10 million. The Bidens were for
no. Okay, so Zlochevsky paid off the a dude he had on a short leash in the tax department like $5 million in cash. It was one of the things that got him busted. And also he had Shokin was getting paid on the regular as well. Shokin was not fired by Poroshenko, by the way. As much as people want to shorthand this shit, he was voted out by Parliament. People know this, right? People are aware of this. That Viktor Shokin was not fired by Joe Biden or fired by Viktor Poroshenko or Petro Poroshenko. They had a vote in the parliament. It was like 63-38, 63-37 to oust him. They've been trying to do it for a while. Petro Poroshenko wouldn't hold the vote. It wasn't that he wouldn't fire him. He wouldn't hold the vote. The parliament fired this fucker. And oh, by the way, I know. Let's see. There's some. I'm sure there are some folks who think that I'm talking out of my my posterior. So, if I may, let me see. Open up the notions and the things, and I've got a. I know I've saved this note here somewhere. There you are. Pop this guy up, and then we go to where did I have it? It's under here. And then we go down to this. Yeah. There you go, if I may. Ukraine oust Viktor Shokin, top prosecutor. Political stability hangs in the balance. Viktor Shokin, who was ousted on Tuesday as Prosecutor General of Ukraine. Bowing to pressure from international donors, plural, the Ukrainian parliament voted on Tuesday to remove a prosecutor general who had clung to power for months despite visible signs of corruption. This is an article from then. Yeah. Let's see. And by the way, 2 months later, they two of Shokin's his primary investigator and one of the other deputies in his office were discovered with diamonds, $400,000 in cash, and guns as part of a bribery scheme that would not have been found had he not been ousted. But whatever, I'd even bring it up.
For his role in firing the prosecutor. Okay, we know he fired the prosecutor.
No. What we know is that the parliament of Ukraine voted him out. That's what we know. We also know that Petro Poroshenko wasn't holding a vote or wasn't bringing it to a vote, which was, again, all of these decisions had to be made through the parliament because they had such corruption issues. They wanted it to be more participatory. We know this, like, this is fucking obvious. Yeah. Need a TENS unit and a hand element. Oh, indeed. We'll get there. Look at this dipshit.
We know he lied.
Nope.
On videotape to a panel, at the Foreign Affairs Council or whatever it is. And he was talking about it and saying, look, Barack knew, Barack was with me. This guy had to go. No, that's not true. The White House.
Yes, it is.
House now has had to produce the records that show the White House wanted Shokin, said he was fine.
No. They said the entire government was meeting their benchmarks. One of the benchmarks that had not been met, though, of many, was that Shokin was still on board.
State Department said he was fine. The EU.
No, they didn't.
All said he was doing a great job.
No, they didn't. They were talking about the Ukrainian government as a whole.
So he lied. Why?
Because
then a review of bank records conducted by the House Oversight Committee confirmed that at least 9 Biden family members, including children, received millions in diluted payments from foreign companies.
Diluted?
Before, during, and shortly after Joe's vice presidency.
Mm-hmm. First of all, the before part? Really? Fuck power did he have over it before? During, citation needed. After, didn't happen, but nobody gives a shit.
What are the Biden children? I mean, the children, what are they getting?
Hunter owed child support, and he also had borrowed money. He also had gone into business with his relatives, with James. Deals didn't go through, and so everybody got their slice. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And what are they providing?
Well, considering Bo's death, one of the things Hunter was doing was providing for their education and giving money to them to take care of them because Bo is dead.
When they say there is no evidence, there's lots of evidence.
Nope.
Now, that doesn't mean that, I believe this is so. I talked to Megyn Kelly yesterday.
So she just, did the court order her to, like, talk to every misogynistic dickhead in her sphere? Jesus Christ. Is this some sort of awful community service that Megyn got?
I said, Megyn, you're an attorney. I'm not. If I looked at this, I would say this is an open and shut case just on what we have. And she said, oh, my gosh, yes.
That's because you're both stupid.
Then you have the testimony of the IRS whistleblowers. Federal prosecutors.
The 3 dudes who wanted to include shit from the laptop, which would have capsized all the other charges. Go ahead.
Concealed critical documents from tax investigators probing Hunter Biden, while officials from the Justice Department sought to undermine the IRS's investigative efforts. One of the whistleblowers had previously alleged in May that his investigative team had been removed from the Biden tax probe
because it was this big compared to the billions of dollars other people were fucking with, and he'd wasted years doing it and never come up with anything other than $2 million in non-paid taxes that he ultimately ended up paying.
At the behest of the DOJ. In addition to the alleged interference in the IRS tax probe, the DOJ also sought to give legal immunity to Hunter regarding charges filed against him earlier this year. It was a Delaware judge who said, I'm sorry, have you ever done a deal like this ever before, DOJ? Oh, not that we can recall.
Yeah. By the way, they specified, they've been working on specifying for the tax stuff, but ultimately, because they came to the terms on this deal already, that when they rescinded it and they went back on this particular deal, and it wasn't because Hunter had done anything wrong, basically they violated his Fifth Amendment rights. So a bunch of this other shit's going to be thrown out just because they were idiots. I mean, literally, this is going to be the most frustrating thing for these assholes, is that that's how it's going to play out. That because they wanted this deal to, which would have been a slap on the wrist in their opinion and wouldn't have gone, like, all of it's going to get thrown out because they violated his Fifth Amendment rights. This is the same thing. Remember when Bill Cosby got out because the prosecutor had made a deal? Look, if you cop in the civil plea and pay this woman off, we won't charge you with the information you give when you cop to it in civil court. And then they did. That's a violation of his Fifth Amendment rights. And that's why Bill Cosby walked free. It's like, even when somebody's guilty, you can fuck up the case this way. This is what these idiots don't seem to understand.
So you have the lies. Okay. That's one thing.
Nope.
Then you have the Biden family, not just Hunter. They're trying to just make this about Hunter. You have 9 family members.
Gee, it's almost like Hunter, who made more money than anybody, was giving money to relatives for stuff like their education.
Having as many as 22 offshore accounts. Some of them.
Oh, no. Hi, stupid. No. You don't, they aren't offshore accounts. They're incorporated in Delaware, stupid. Oy.
Held by children.
No, none of the children had it. They're children compared to the 80-year-old patriarch.
Funneling millions of dollars. We need to know what those offshore accounts do.
They're not offshore.
You have now, I think the number is 250, 200. I mean, I can't even keep up with it. Where the Treasury was alerted by banks saying this is money laundering.
No. Anything over $10,000 gets an automatic suspicious activity report. Automatic. Here's what you do, Glenn. This is super easy. Next time you talk to a Trump, ask them how many fucking times Alan Weisselberg or somebody in the office has had to talk to banks or explain any of these things where they're... Oh, sorry, my mom is calling. Hold on. She doesn't know that I'm on the show. Give me 1 second. I'll BRB. My uncle's in the hospital, so I Hi, folks. Sorry, my uncle's home from the hospital, but he's on a ventilator and all kinds of other stuff. So, if my mom calls about that, I can, I got to take the call. Just saying. So, back to this, and then I'm gonna call her right back. Everything's okay. It'll, it can wait. It wasn't instant news as you do. So yeah. Where were we? Oh yes.
And it was all tied to those offshore accounts that...
They're not offshore. I fucking hate this. He just made this up. He's just making this up. They're not offshore accounts. Literally, these LLCs are fucking incorporated in Delaware. There's only one that wasn't, and that was the one in Cyprus, which is, by the way, where Wilbur fucking Ross ran the Bank of Cyprus. And Trump put him in charge of the Treasury.
Went to the Biden family. Now, if Grandpa didn't know this, is the whole family in this and the only one that's clean is Grandpa? And if that's true...
First of all, they're not dirty, asshat. Secondly, he was vice president at the time during part of this. He was doing other shit. Most of his, engagement with this stuff was stiff-arming it so that it wouldn't get its stank on him if there was the assumption of impropriety.
True, How come the DOJ is doing everything they can to thwart any investigation?
They're not. Again, there's a lot of premises in this that he just kind of throws up, including the offshore accounts shit. Like, so this is just okay now? This is just how we talk about, this is how the press, this is how the dude who calls legacy media, quote unquote, fake news, this is how we talk about court cases. Sorry, Jackie, I can't make this, I can't square this circle for you.
I don't know, guys. I don't think this is, I lied about sex. This certainly isn't about a perfect phone call.
What was perfect about the phone call, Glenn? The fact that Trump thought it was a perfect phone call because Rudy was going to say the criminal part in person, like he would send Carter Page to carry the actual paperwork on stuff, never communicating either where it could be recorded or in electronic form.
In fact, that perfect phone call, which he was impeached for, was regarding this.
No, it wasn't. It was to create the illusion that there was impropriety going on. Just start the investigation. Doesn't even have to work out. We just need you to announce it.
This was the Trump phone call. What the hell was happening with Burisma?
Nothing. At that point, Hunter no longer worked for them, and Joe Biden never had a connection to them, as we now know.
All kinds of criminal activity was going on.
Well, Zlochevsky, sure. But, and Shokin taking bribes to not go after him.
Do you have any information on that? That's what that was all about.
No, it wasn't. It was about creating a fake scandal where there was none.
Everything you know about Ukraine is a lie.
Well, I mean, the way you tell it, sure.
Everything you think you know about Ukraine is a lie.
I think I know that it was a former Soviet satellite state, and it was, its borders pre-2014 were pretty sound and had gone back to 1991 and included Crimea. I know obviously, if I'm to take Glenn Beck at his word, I, for example, believe that the women and children of Bucha did not deserve to be raped and murdered because of a territorial dispute that Vladimir Putin decides he wants to make his legacy. Now, obviously, Glenn disagrees. Obviously, Glenn thinks that the women and children of Bucha deserved what happened to them. Because he's saying what I believe is a lie. And so the truth, I suppose, would be the parallel, the opposite.
The American people need to know, one, are our highest officials and our highest offices up for sale?
No, they're not.
Can you buy it? Can you buy it?
No, you cannot.
I hope to God the people of America say no, or
no, they aren't. Yes, no, we're a resounding no.
We become, I don't know, a third world country. We become Venezuela.
No, we aren't. We're not Venezuela. We're not even close to Venezuela. As a matter of fact, Venezuela is a little fucked right now. I don't know if you've checked their inflation, but it becomes a fairly hysterical parallel.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah, and it's okay handled.
The second thing that you really need to know is our Justice Department, is our IRS, is everything just a weapon now of the guy who possibly sold his office?
No, it isn't. Okay, handled, cool.
Can we trust anyone in the White House?
Yes, you can.
Anyone in the Justice Department? Anyone? Is there anyone there?
Well, I mean, obviously the IRS guys who call themselves whistleblowers and a couple of those other fucks are, Trump cultists, but everybody else, yeah.
All of this needs to be decided, and it is really important that we come to an answer. Even if Joe Biden walked out today and was hit by a bus, this needs to be
fairly certain the president's not going to get hit by a bus. But wishing it is a little gross.
Be investigated and needs to be cleared because
no, it doesn't. You don't just throw shit against the wall and see what the fuck. Like, and then pretend that it needs to be looked into because Trump is guilty as shit.
We must send a message. This will not stand.
Oh, look out, tough guy. But I have a message for you. Hold on. Where's it? Here
I am like an idiot.
There you go. Put that in your book.
If it was done, I don't want any kangaroo courts. I want equal and blind justice for all.
Great. Then I would guess that you would be a little upset that after 4 fucking years, they haven't found anything that amounts to evidence. It's a lot of information, and it's a lot of conjecture, and it's a lot of shuffling dates to make people look guilty of shit that couldn't have possibly happened. And it's a lot of shitting on the Biden family for getting together on the anniversary of Bo's fucking death. But, all right, that's that. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go take a break and ice my shoulder. I'm getting better. I am. Look, I have range of motion. It's just painful. I mean, it's not painful where I can't move or whatever. It's just like it's kind of an aggravation. If that makes sense. I'm going to go take care of myself. I will see you guys tomorrow at the morning show and the afternoon show. Full shows from now on. You can trust me on that. It's good. I'm going to take care of myself. Don't worry. I'm on the mend. It's just a matter of taking care of myself and making sure I do. So that's, I don't want anybody to worry. Yes, heat then ice. It's already had the heat, so we'll get the ice afterwards. Anyways, and I'm going to do another bath before I go to bed tonight. Fear not. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll take care of myself. And you know what? The trick is, and it's a little gross. I got to be honest. There's a little, there's something I put in my bath water that, don't tell anybody. But if you dress a little bit of...